Welcome back, guys, to episode number 4 in this brand new series on creating an MMORPG. So in the last video, I told you guys that I was going to work on some stuff on the side, which I really didn't end up doing. The only thing I did was add a little bit of a nicer effect to these. And comment down below if you think this is better or worse. I'm not sure. I think it looks better. They all come out at different times. And it adds a little bit smoother rather than have all of them come out at the same time. It looks kind of like, too static. So let me know down below what you think about that. And then in today's video, we're basically going to be finishing up this page. So I go ahead and add this and our production queue. And I end up explaining a little bit more about what these things are. And then I go ahead and add our little footer options down here. And I didn't change the icons. I just kind of threw in the crystal one there because we'll change those later. And then same thing here, I added these little buffs, which these are like your player buffs. I added those and I didn't quite finish these, and you'll see I didn't quite finish this guy either, this little bubble. Just a couple of things that I'm going to work on later. This video is a little bit different because of the fact that we've already covered a lot of the CSS transitions and stuff like that and styling in the last 2 videos. This video is mostly just going to be me running through the code, so I'm just going to go ahead and like fast forward through all this stuff, and you'll get to see how it comes together, and then I stop a few times in the middle of the video to kind of explain a couple things. But I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. just want to take a quick pause to actually explain what I'm doing here. So, or like explain just what these elements are that I'm actually building. So this right here is actually the skill timer. So if when you play the game, you'll notice that there are certain skills that you can only do every so often. So right now in the game we have now, so there's 2 different skills that actually use this skill timer. So you have mining, which if I go in here and I mine an ore, you'll see that the skill timer now resets and it's going to start counting down right here. And so this skill timer is also shared with your herbalism. So you can only do one or the other every 2 minutes. So it'll create a cool like little economy because you can only kind of pick one path to go down. You can't be everything at once, which will be super cool. And then the other part now, this bottom part, is actually related to the production queue. So you have items that you can create right now in the smithing page. So if I go here and I actually want to create, let's say, a short sword, so the most I can make is 12. So if I add those, you'll see they popped up over here on the side, and now the queue timer starts. And these take 10 minutes each to make. And it tells you that I have 12 of them in the queue and that there's 0 finished. And you can actually go and view the entire queue, which shows you all the items here, and then you could remove them if you want to. In the newer versions, I want to obviously have a lot more functionality on this page, so you can actually move them around and you can edit them and stuff like that a lot easier. But for now, this gives us what we need. And so that is also shared now with potions. So potions, you can have your recipes here, and if I click and I want to make some, which I can't because I don't have any vials, but if I jump in here and like, let's say I buy 10 vials, so I purchase those and then I come back over here and now I can create some of these. So let's just say I want to make 4 of these guys. I can do that. Well, I can only have that many, so let's make 3. Because there's a limit of 15 items per your queue right now, so 15 out of 15. But now you'll see those got added to the bottom of the production queue. And so now it's going to take a little while to run through all of these because each of these are 10 minutes, and then I think these are only like 30 seconds or something like that because they're like the lower level ones. Now that you guys kind of understand exactly what those pieces are, it makes a little bit more sense to what I'm doing here, because essentially what this will do is show you the item that's currently in progress. And then the little checkbox that I was just about to make right here is basically letting you know how many items you have completed. So it'll say like there's 3 items completed and ready for you to collect. You know, you can click on the queue, and eventually right now it would take you to a separate page, the page I showed you already right here. But later when I have time, I want to actually just make this so that there's a pop-up window on the screen right here, and that it doesn't actually have a separate page. It'll just be a little window here that'll show you the list of all your items and let you edit them and manage them straight from here without having to navigate to other pages, which will be super cool. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get to that because there's just a bunch of other stuff on the plate right now. But that's the idea, that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add that checkbox back in, or just add it in. Alright, so I spent like a little while trying to figure out the text stuff. The text would be kind of small, I think, if I put it in here. And you can see it's already pretty hard to read because it was white. I was going to put like drop shadows on it and stuff to make it pop out more, to be easier to read. But still, the font is going to be pretty small right there. But I'm going to wait to add the text in there because it wasn't cooperating when I was trying to get it to sit next to the image. So I'm going to go ahead and do that probably later. So I'm just going to go ahead and add these guys real quick. Alright, so awesome. I just put in crystal icons down there because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to end up changing those later. But I may end up making the footer a little bit taller because those buttons are really small. I don't know if it matters. Like, comment below if you think this is too small because I'll end up making it larger. I mean, yeah, I could go like another 10 pixels. But yeah, it's starting to look really good and we're like almost done now. So those boxes right there are going to be pretty quick to make. And I'll go ahead and just set that up real quick too. So now I was going to explain a little bit about what I'm actually doing with these buffs. So what I'm doing is, if you'll see, these are overlapping each other. So what I'll end up doing is I'll have to do something with script because we don't know how many buffs there are going to be. And if when I hover over this, we want them to all spread out, they're all going to have to move different amounts and obviously to different positions, so it's going to be pretty dynamic. But for now I'll just add like these two and then we can just do a CSS transition, so when I hover over it it'll slide the second one out. Obviously that's not how I'm going to do it when I'm actually finished, but I just want to do that so we can actually see how the effect is going to look. So I'll go ahead and set that up real quick. Alright, so now this gives me a good opportunity. I'm actually not going to set this up right now because it's going to take a little bit longer than I'd like to work on this, but this part right here in our design where this actually rotates around in this direction, I would say it's probably going to be easier just to make a... So originally I was going to say that these pieces right here that actually would rotate around, so this piece right, not that, this guy, nope, not that, this guy. The piece that's actually going to be rotating around. So essentially if you imagine like a clock where this just kind of ticks around in a circle till it gets back to the beginning. I was going to say canvas, but I feel like you could do it just as easily with an SVG. You would do like kind of a little bit of a hack with this. So you could do an overflow hidden and then basically just make a circle that goes around the entire thing that's like bigger than it. And then just have the, do what we did with our other things, just make the stroke really large and then just edit what we did over here with our offset. I haven't actually built a timer that looks like this, so I'm going to have to mess around with it a little bit, and then I'll probably come back and show you guys in another video how I actually built it. But for now, like I said, I don't know exactly how I want to do it yet, so I'm going to have to just take some time to figure that out and then put that in later. So for now, I'll end up just putting the full background in there. I'll just go ahead and do that for this video. So one thing I'll go over real quick, because I've been using this a lot actually and I haven't actually talked about it, is the filter property. So in this case, instead of using a box shadow, you actually can use a filter, because a filter will actually take a PNG and add the shadow to the actual image itself rather than the container that it's inside of. So if I added a box shadow to this image, it would actually add a square around it in the shape, or it would just have a square box shadow around it, which obviously that's not what we want. We want the box shadow to actually be from the image itself. So the way to get that is by using a filter and then just using drop shadow. And the drop shadow takes exactly the same properties as the box shadow does. So you've got the X and the Y and the blur and the spread and the color that you want to use. So what I'm actually going to do here to get those to sit on top of each other in the beginning is just add a transform. So I'm going to actually just position them absolute and then just make them all sit in the top left corner. So actually if I go into my stuff here and copy another buff that I want to add and put it here, you'll see that they're going to be on top of each other, so you can't actually see it. So what we'll do is then manually transform the second one to push it over, but not all the way over. So if we went in and let's just do our PL buff and then nth of type 2, if we just go ahead and give this a transform and then do a translate, and on the X position, let's say we want to move it over 80%, because that should be about right. So we would be able to do that, and then we'll see that that moves over like that, and that looks pretty good. And then, like I said, I was going to do one thing where I just, when you hover over it, it'll pop out. So just like we did with everything else, we'll just add a transition. So what we can do in this case, say that we want, when we hover over the PL buffs, we want the PL, in this case, yeah, hover over that. We want the PL buff, and then the nth of type 2, we just want to move its transform. We want to translate it to, let's say, 120% instead. And then we go ahead and, well, first I have to add a actual transition to this property. So we'll add a transition, and we'll add it to the transform over 0.2 with an ease, and let's see, doesn't work. Okay, hang on. Okay, I think the only issue here is that I didn't make this class. I made it a class instead of an ID by accident, so now it works. So you'll see that slides out, and we might even want it to come out further, so we could do like 150%, and then you get a nice slide out on that. And see, there's a little bit of a bug here, because if you're in the middle, it leaves it and then enters it over and over again. And the reason why is because the buffs actually doesn't have a width and a height. Well, it doesn't have a width because the width is auto right now. If we want to fix that, we could just make it 100 pixels. I'd have to change this later because obviously the width will be dynamic, but for now that removes that little glitch that we have. So that's kind of the effect that we wanted to get. We would just have those spread out and have like a little descriptions of what they are underneath or whatever like that. But yeah, this is coming along pretty nicely. So we've pretty much finished everything we wanted to do for this video. And just to recap basically what we did in this video, I know I didn't explain a lot of it. The first thing was this queue timer, and it's going to be pretty cool. So we have the timer, which is actually this green box that's inside of it. That box right there will actually be move as it counts down, and then when it gets to the end, it'll turn green, and then you know that you're ready to use it again. And then the production queue was pretty much just a copy and paste of this one, and then I changed the icons and the colors, and then added this little guy, which I haven't finished yet, but I will coming up soon. And then we just added these footer options right here, so that looks pretty cool now. Like I said, I might make the footer bigger. I'm not sure exactly what is going to be down there yet. And then we just added these cool little buffs here, and we'll be able to add as many of those as we want. It'll be super cool when we have a bunch of these here, and you'll be able to open them all up and see what they are. Alright guys, so remember, if you're enjoying this series, please leave me a like, and please comment down below suggestions or questions that you have, and I will definitely get back to you guys. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any content. There's going to be my face right here on the screen, so just go ahead and click on that and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.